The riskiest thing is to plan, prepare, spend a lot of money, launch, and then 6 months later, oh my God, this was wrong. So you lost 6 months and a huge sum of money. That's the most risky thing to do. Look at CNN Plus, the most stupid launch on the planet.
All right. Well, welcome to a growth party, as my man Simon says. My name is Chris McCoy, and we're here with another episode of Leads to Growth. We're the National Association of Sales Professionals, and we've got an awesome guest with us today, Simon Severino.
Yeah, Simon Severino, growth party in the house.
My man. So Simon is, really excited to have Simon with us today. Simon is, we're going to take this day a little bit different than we normally do. Normally we go deep into the story and how this person got here, and we're going to touch on that a little bit. But Simon's got so much ammunition to give us. Simon is the author of a book called Strategy Sprints and another one called Habits of Success. And, you know, this dude's right down our alley, right? He's also the CEO of a global consulting company called Strategy Sprints. So thus the topic, Strategy Sprints. He's going to talk about this method of his called Strategy Sprints, maybe a little bit from his foundations of agile sales. And I mean, this guy's got all the expertise for us. He's been in Forbes magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, member of the Silicon Valley Blockchain Society. So, man, he's way ahead of the curve on the cutting edge of things. And like I said, #1 speaker on agile strategy and agile sales. So, Simon, thanks so much for joining us, man.
So cool to be here. And it's amazing to be on a podcast about growth. We're gonna share some growth mistakes, some growth insights, some growth blueprints in this episode.
I love this. And so y'all know a little bit about the show already since you're here. And you know that I kind of cherry pick some people that I want to hear what they have to say, right? Because we're applying what we're learning. And I think this is the most important thing about this podcast. We're going to give you some things to actually apply today, some action that you can take. And this is the most important thing about information. Information that just dies to rest in our mind over days. It may pull back some time, but if you take a little of these pieces and you put them to work right away, you can find that the information has a significant impact on you that lasts much longer. And so we're going to talk about today. Simon, man, first of all, if you all go check out Simon, which will give you his information, you're going to see that his pages are filled over and over and over again of testimonies of happy, successful past clients. So Simon, how did you get here today, man? Where did this all start, and how did you become the coach to help other people maximize their talents and achieve great growth? How'd you get here, buddy?
Many failures and more failures and more failures every day. This is how I got here.
Yeah.
So exploration, but it's not just exploration. It is also measuring what exactly happens with what we do. So my deepest frustration was in projects where people don't measure every 7 days the progress. And so at some point I said, I retire from projects and people who do not measure every 7 days what happens. And that was a moment where my life got better and my business got better, because now I work only with people who are highly performance oriented, because those people love live dashboards. Everybody who goes running with a certain seriosity wants to see the pace, wants to see the kilometers, wants just to see what happens, right? And then there are many other people. So for me, the main thing was to say, okay, I retire from people and projects that do not measure progress every 7 days. And I limit my own projects. I have a project list of 10 projects that I allow myself at a time to have. And those were the two main things. So when you do that, you have to pick your focus, right? And so I said, what do I am passionate about? I love only two things. Everything else bores me to death. I love things that bring more time and more money. That's what gets me interested. And so if you have some service that can give me more time, you have my attention. And if you have services that can bring more sales, that is relevant for people. And so I said, okay, I'm going to stick to the sales thing. This is something I can do 50 years without being bored. So I'm going to be the sales helper. I help you with sales. And when you do that every day in different industries, after 10 years, 20 years, you get good at it. Some things work and you have a toolbox. That toolbox became the Sprint University. It's 274 tools. When you measure every 7 days, you start getting some numbers. And so I know that it takes me 90 days to double revenue with B2B businesses. If they are doing above 35K per month, I can get them to 70K in 90 days. Now that sounds very specific. Yeah, because for 21 years, I've been measuring every 7 days what works and what doesn't. So I know what this thing can do. And I wrote the whole book, Strategy Sprints, just about that process with the cases. And there are even clients here. One of our clients has wrote the foreword, Anthony Iannarino, who many in your audience might know because he's an amazing sales trainer, probably one of the best on the planet. And he describes here how his own sprint was, because he is amazing at sales, but he was the only person. So he was running the whole business. He was the sales department, the marketing department, the operations department. And his thing was, how can I make this business work more independently of me so that I can focus on my zone of genius and I have a team doing solid work around it. So, and his zone of genius is writing books, because he's amazing, speaking on stages, and training the coolest brands on the planet on how to close more deals. So how can he focus on these three things was his goal, and how can we systemize the rest? And he describes here his own sprint and who should do it and why, etc.
Who was the author of the pre-frame?
The foreword is Anthony Iannarino.
Anthony Iannarino.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
And the book is Strategy Sprints.
I have to apologize. I just pulled it up this morning. I just put it in my Amazon cart. I'm about to click order right now, right before our call. So it's on the way. All right.
Cool. Yeah. And leave us an Amazon review. Amazon loves it. So Anthony is describing there how this really made a difference for him. Okay, this is my zone of genius. This is what I want to be doing in my business. And I want the rest of it to take care of the rest. Yeah. Right. Because this is why we run businesses in the first place.
And I want to put some push pins in here for our audience right now, because this resonates with so many of our audience. So many of our sales leaders are out there going, man, I'm trying to work on strategy. I'm trying to work on moving things ahead, but I'm constantly just motivating and trying to help all the people around me, right? Like I don't have enough time in the day. I think it's a big challenge for sales leaders and executives, right? Especially the solopreneurs, the entrepreneurs, the smaller businesses where the salesperson, the head person is selling a lot of the big contracts and things like that. But then you also said something earlier. One, you have a common value of measurement in 7 days, right? And I think that's something that's very important because it's an agreed upon expectation of everyone. And I think that agreed upon expectation means that, hey, we're all agreed to optimize our urgency, to agree upon the same urgency and the same agreed upon goals. And I think when you do that, it's very easy to keep each other accountable to move forward. And I really love that. And I also love retiring from projects that don't align with that. That is a beautiful thing. Why? Because oftentimes we do so much work and waste so much time and energy trying to do when it's out of our control. Why? Because you're working with the wrong people who don't have the same agreed upon goals and a vision as you. So thank you so much. That's beautiful, man. So in the book, so let's talk about sprints. So what is this magic behind sprints? So first off, I also love that what you measure with the Peter Drucker, right? If you measure it, you can improve it. And if you're not measuring the things that you're doing right now, you'll never improve them. And if you do, you won't know how you did it. So what is the structure that goes in and around a sprint, Simon?
It's quite simple. It's old wisdom and new technology. That's it. So old wisdom is the things that for thousands of years have worked. They still work. Mm-hmm. We don't need to reinvent the wheel for basic things. For example, the client onboarding process, that it's really important that the first 10 days create a wow moment, that the first day is a wow experience, that the payment process is a good, solid process, that week one delivers results. Then if you peel it back, the closing, there is a flow that works versus flow that don't work. And it is really still very helpful to do role plays. So we do role plays with our clients. They record the sales calls and we tell them exactly in minute 7, you didn't shut up. In minute 19, you were defensive when you told the price. Afterwards, you were kind of ashamed of your price. So let's redo this. Let's do ABC. Let's do ABC. And then we do it until it works. And then we improve the sales script with them, improve this little part, but that creates a huge change in the conversion rate. And so that's the conversion rate. And then we peel it back. Okay, how many people do you get per week into the discovery calls? Okay, this channel works better than that. That lead magnet doesn't work, but the audit works. Let's do more of the audit. What happens before the audit? Oh, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Instagram doesn't bring you anything except awareness. So why don't we put the effort just in LinkedIn and do LinkedIn properly? And then we just focus on LinkedIn. And now you have optimized the whole chain. And you see, it's not complicated. Every step of this is 1 week of the sprint. And that's a typical sprint. We start with operations, we go back sales, and in the very end, we improve marketing.
I love this.
That's what happens in 90 days.
This is beautiful. And I want to know, I just love you. You cover so many great pieces here and you have this beautiful pace about you. So I want to go back. You said something about noticing that somebody got defensive when price came up. This is a behavior. This is a mindset, right? This is psychology. How do you address those types of behavior or tone shifts? Because they don't always come out in the language, right? You can sense it in the tone. You can sense it in the body language. How do you help them address and fix those types of things?
I learned this from Grant Cardone. I had the pleasure to be coached by Grant Cardone. Okay. And I saw him live doing these sales role plays, and I learned a ton. Okay. And one thing that I see every week when I see those recordings is people say, okay, what's the price? Yeah, it's 12,000. What's the price? Yeah, it's 12,000. And then you see the body going down and the energy going down. They're kind of ashamed of saying them. Say the price, say it's 12,000, and then shut up. That's it. No features, no explanation. Every word you say after the price diminishes your confidence and diminishes by far their confidence. If you don't believe in it, why should they believe in it?
This is so beautiful. And I ask you this because I love the response and the answer, because it is so much psychology and confidence, right? There, especially when the price comes out. They talk about the communication model, right? 7% of our communication is words. The rest of it is body language and tone and nonverbal, especially when you're communicating a short bit of information. And in that bit of information, you're telling them how much value there is behind this price or how little value there is behind this price, all behind your tone and your body language. And I think to be able to show somebody that is just the most great, beautiful awareness you've ever provided them, because they still go back to, oh no, they just didn't like the price, when they don't realize how much of their energy and opinion they put on that price detail. So I think that was just really beautiful too. Someone can think that you can follow all the words right and all the processes right, but your confidence and body language don't relay the proper message and you will lose everybody. And this is why it's so important to have a third party who's been there, done that, measured that, seen that, and has that expertise and can get you through a learning curve. I think that is another great piece that you offer, Simon, is yes, you have a structure that works, but also you've done this over and over and over again. You can eliminate poor mistakes by your expertise. And I think that's something that people really get when they work with someone like yourself. So yeah, go ahead.
The price is one of 9 points in the sales flow of the sales conversation itself. And so in the book, it's one chapter. It's just about that sales conversation and the sales script and what is the right flow and which are the typical things that go wrong and how to do them right. That's one chapter in the book. And then there is a chapter about marketing, how you get people on the discovery call. Mm-hmm. And these are the perennial problems for us, right? Yes. How to market, how to sell, and how to deliver. And this is what I'm passionate about, and this is what we coach every day in every continent. Meanwhile, we have sprint coaches doing that.
This is epic. And y'all don't, every one of y'all don't know that I'm writing notes on this. And I'm probably going to go back and listen to this all over again. You said something also that I really love. And I think too many people overlook this huge opportunity, the early wow. I think, you know, and how much that leads to successful onboarding. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. It's a 3 steps process. This is one of the 274 tools that we have in the Sprint University. And it's a simple 3-step process.
Real quick, you heard that, y'all. 274 tools in Sprint University. Just making sure everybody got 274 tools. We'll probably cover maybe a handful here on this call today in very little depth. So go ahead.
Yeah, because you need the blueprints. Otherwise, you are reinventing the wheel and then you don't get a lot done in 90 days. Why they get a lot done is because they just put in half an hour, because the blueprint saves them like 6-7 hours. And so you just put in half an hour. You have something that you can test in your market. You learn from it. It either works, you do more. It doesn't work, you stop it.
Yeah, it's simple options, y'all. You can learn yourself. Go ahead and take all the experience, all the money, and all the time to learn all these lessons yourself. Or you can just buy the book or take the program, right? These are opportunities. Does it mean that his program is going to get you to the $1 million place that you wanted to get to? You're going to get there? Maybe not, but you're going to learn a heck of a lot more in this effort, something that you can then take and duplicate and repeat in the future. All right. So tell us about how to shorten their journey to wow, my friend.
So the 3 steps. I ask right now the listeners, if I work with you, so I become your client, I buy your offer, whatever your offer is. 3 months from now, how did you change my life, my business? That's the wow, right? That's your magic. And there is a magic. So tell me that. And now we go back to day 1. How can we make a little taste of this experience, a sample? How can we make them taste this magic in the first day, maybe in the first 4 hours? That's the second step. And then we build that thing, we test it. And the third step is that you standardize this. This will become now the standard operating procedure for every client onboarding. Every client will experience this in the first 4 hours. And an example is a competitor of MailChimp who was having, and so MailChimp, you know, you send emails in a professional way.
Absolutely.
And this competitor was building something for small businesses. And the onboarding process was, please upload my CSV file. You would lose 80% people because nobody knows what is a CSV file, and they don't care at this stage. You have to make them touch the magic, and then maybe if you ask them to upload something, they will upload it. So we said, okay, in 3 months, what's the magic? And they said, it's a small business, but it feels as professional in marketing as a big business. Okay, how can we make this happen in the first 4 hours? I don't know. So, okay, let's workshop it. We workshopped ideas. We created something with templates where they come in, welcome to your free trial. Please test this. I see that you are a flower business. So click on the left side from these 3 flower images, the one that you like best. Click from here above the 3 copy templates, the one that you like best. And here from the 3 call to action buttons, click the one that you like best. Click, 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 send it. Boom. Congrats. You sent an email that is as professional as a big brand, but you are a small brand. Can I help you send more of this to your people? Let me understand. Who are you sending to? Would you upload your contacts? By the way, it's called CSV file. Probably this is how you click it. So in that first small experience, you have experienced the whole wow. And it's not high tech. It's simple. It's 3 steps. But this is one important module of the 274 modules, because we're talking to salespeople here, right? The first sell happens via the sales team. The second sell happens from the operations team. And so we have to think these things together, operations, sales, and marketing. There is no gap between these 3 things if it works well.
I love this. Revenue operations, they must all be tied together beautifully. It's so important. And I'm going to keep going back to put little push pins and things that you said, just because I just love the high level language that you use. It's so important. He didn't talk about a product. He didn't talk about a purchase that they could get in there first, a download they could get in there first. No, he talked about an experience. How can they feel this way? This is what is important. It's not, and why it's important is it's from the customer's perspective. It comes from your customer's perspective. You need, and we talked about it a few weeks ago, about your prospecting emails to your customers in B2B. If you haven't gone through that yourself, first off, you're out of your mind. If you haven't gone through your buying experience and your prospecting experience and experienced your emails coming to you and looked at them and say, do I want to open this or not? And first off, you're throwing darts blindly. But if you haven't gone through all of your processes and experienced them for yourself and feel good about those experiences, you're not doing your job. And I think that is so important. What does your customer feel like right now? Simon, that's beautiful, man. And what an easy step to get a quick, easy win to help propel and support, give them some good confirmation bias on their decision as well.
Yeah, how small can you make it? So if in 3 months the big transformation is that, how small can you make it? How can we make me touch this magic in 10 minutes, in 1 hour, in 4 hours?
The magic.
That's the art and science of customer onboarding, and it's important. So we spend 1-2 days workshopping that. When that is done, we go backwards. So now we have the onboarding right. Okay, how's the payment? How can we make the payment easy and frictionless? And then we go back. Okay, and how do we close that? Close script, close flow, closing technique, feedback, ABC, role plays. Then we go back. Okay, how do we get people on the discovery call in the first place? The marketing team, the setters, if there are setters, or automations. What brings people in there? The emails. We call this RBS, the relationship building sequence. We build daily emails with our clients, and for is specific, creating trust and nurturing the relationship, and then at some point inviting to work together. And that says, hey, hop on my calendar. So we measure each email. We measure open rate, conversion rate, and unsubscribe rate, and we kill the 10% losers. And by doing that every 7 days, you just improve your emails. And that's also a simple technique, but if you do this every week, after 12 weeks, you have amazing emails, because you're just eliminating what your people say that they don't like.
Survival of the fittest for the emails. Yeah.
Yes.
Darwin's theory for the emails. I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes. What works stays.
Exactly. This is excellent. And I'm not sure if you're familiar or not. Try lavender.io is a great email marketing AI writing assistant, and where they continue to learn from all these emails that go out and then measure their rates, and they optimize your email with just looking at how it looks on mobile, how the customer reads it, how long does it take them to read it, what's the tone, because it's just all about taking things from your customer's perspective. All right, so I got a question, Simon. You've learned all these things, and you said earlier, practice, failure, right? You failed forward, you learned, and I think there are I'm sure there are a ton of failures and successes in your story that you have. Tell me about one of the failures that you've had in the past on a big project that was maybe one of your biggest insights and value provided for others forward.
If I don't have 5 failures per day, I haven't lived that day. I was hiding.
I want to give you a big hug right now, man. I love this, bro. Yes, tell me more. 5 failures a day. I'm writing it down.
If you don't have 5 failures today, you didn't explore your limits today. You have to find your limits, and then you have to break through the limits, right? On Monday, I run an event. It's called Breakthrough. So people come in, they show me their sales material, and we help them break through one of those limits. And I coach them live in front of everybody. I say, show me your emails, your sales funnel, whatever you want, or your landing page, and we will break through in this hour. So now I told you about the event and I forgot what the question was. What was the question?
So I was asking you about one of the biggest failures you've had in your past that provided one of the greatest insights for your success in the future.
Yeah. Just today, the day is just early, but just today, I went through the so-called RBS, so our own email systems, and I eliminated 10% of the losers. So that's a failure. When you see an email that has a high click rate, but also a high unsubscribe rate, this email is a failure. So it might be the order that you have to change. It might be the subject line that you have to change. It might be the call to action that you have to change. It might be everything that you have to change. So you just delete it. And so I eliminated a lot of failures. But to me, a failure is a learning moment. There is no judgment. There is just, does it work? We keep it. That it does not work. Next.
We learned.
This is all exploration. There is no right and wrong. Well, what is right and wrong in sales? The only thing is you want to close more and better clients. That's it, right? And so whatever helps me learn about it and increase that is welcome. And 80% of that is probably failures. So I learn from those numbers that tell me, oh, high unsubscribe rate. This is wrong. Let's find out what do they don't like. And that gets eliminated. And so into the next week, the email sequence is slightly better because of the failure of this week.
How did you learn to love failure so much? This is something most people run and hide from, yeah? And so you have found a way to seek it out every day, and you reversed your feelings about it, which listen, it's beautiful and I get it, and it makes complete logical sense, but we don't work on logic, we work on emotion. How did you change your way of thinking around this?
If you look at children, my children are 6 and 3. Okay. So I see them just, going into the moment, just doing stuff. They build stuff with their hands, they draw, they sing, they jump, and then they see what happens. That's how they learn. And it's beautiful. First, it's joyful in itself because the experience itself is joyful. Yeah, sometimes they fall down, then they stand up again. After 3 seconds, they are fine again, and they continue. So this is our human nature. We just have in between 8 and 30, we have some strange experiences that limit that. Yes. So get rid of those in between. Go back to 3 to 8. Focus more on that part of your nature than all of this industrial military complex stuff that you had later on. It's not good for you. Go back to 3 to 8. Remember how you are and do more of that.
Yeah, I agree. And this is what we teach at NASP. Our certifications and our programs are all about taking you through 45 days of understanding what your current habits and patterns are, not judging them. But first you create a vision. Yeah. I have to have a vision of knowing where I want to go, so I know what habits I don't need anymore. Because the habits I have, they're good. They're not bad. They got me here. But the habits to get me to the next level, they're not the same ones. And so we start building those, and then we go start using our imagination, which I heard you start talking about again. When now we use our imagination of worry, of concern. Might I get wet if I jump in that puddle? Might somebody judge me? I don't know. But when we were kids, we imagined, who knows what could happen? I might fly to the sky. I might turn into an astronaut. The imagination was possibility. And then we talk about role models. I think as we grew up, you said in this age of 8 through 30, we adopt role models that maybe we don't choose. Maybe they kind of just subconsciously get there, and we start modeling our father or our mother or the people in our neighborhood because they are. And we have to choose those role models, and then taking risks, which is the part that you just exemplify so beautifully, is now that you know who it is that you want to be, the new habits and patterns. Now have fun practicing falling. Now have fun failing and learning, because this is the only action that takes you forward. And yeah,
it's always risk reward. There is nothing else than calculating risk reward. But how do you really de-risk stuff? You de-risk stuff by having many calculated small risks all the time, every day. So it's like investment. Like, how do you decide what to invest? How do you decide what to do? It's always risk reward. The riskiest thing is to plan, prepare, spend a lot of money, launch, And then 6 months later, oh my God, this was wrong. So you lost 6 months and a huge sum of money. That's the most risky thing to do. Look at CNN Plus, the most stupid launch on the planet. Sorry, team, but they wasted just so much money for just something that was working just 1 week, right? So a better way is to prototype it and to make small pre-launches, pre-sales, where you measure traction before you even build anything. That's the sprint method. So you do something very small. I just send an email and I see the reaction. Before I write a book about something, I would do a series of 5 YouTube videos, and those YouTube videos I would send to my email list, and then I see if they need it and if they want it. If this microcosm doesn't want it, then probably the macrocosm doesn't want it either. So you can test everything big in a small sample if you pick the right same structure, same target audience. Then you can test everything small. And if you have more tests per month than your competitor, you are learning more. So you will hit something that works faster or with a higher probability than them. And this is how you win in the market.
I love that. I think what I'm hearing you say in an American way of saying it is inch by inch. Yeah. Inch by inch, anything is a cinch. You try to take giant leaps and you're putting giant risk, which could mean giant failure. Little small steps can help you are easier to take, because I don't have to have as much courage, and also I'm not as far off track if my mistake was not aligned, or was not correct. I still can learn, adjust, and continue to move forward in little steps. I love this. So this is all. It's beautiful. The system and structure, leveraging, learning from others and others' mistakes, taking small risks, and measuring everything, and really a lot of common sense. And I think one great thing is perspective. When you're starting a business, you have your perspective, and maybe a couple people that you trust, but not many views of a 360-degree angle. Whereas someone like Simon, can see 180, maybe, 270 degrees of this situation because of his experience, and his experience gives him perspective, which we cannot have because we've not been there before. I really love that, Simon. Simon, I got a question for you. So, habits of a CEO. What are some strong habits of a CEO, or habits a CEO can develop to continue and to have good growth, successful growth?
This is super relevant considering that we are moving into a recession. And the 3 things that you really can control as a CEO.
Can I say that? Because not a lot of people have said that on the podcast yet, and it's out there, but I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. Can you say what you just said again?
So we are in a recession. The technical definition of a recession, I don't know if the newspapers are already talking about it because I don't read newspapers, but I look at the markets every hour. And so the technical definition of a recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. Europe has that already. The US also, it's just not over the quarter, but yeah, it's negative right now as we speak. So prepare for a recession market. What is a recession market? Slow growth. Your clients have less money to spend. They will think about every cost twice. And you should also think about every cost twice. So what is in your control in a recession period, and what is not in your control? Not in your control is your sales numbers, not in your control. How much people want to spend, not in your control. How many clients you will lose, not in your control. How many people you have to fire, not really in your control. How many people you can hire, not in your control. So most things are not in your control. What is in your control? And these are literally the 3 habits that I use and that I share with every client. Daily habit, weekly habit, monthly habit. Daily habit. Write down, we have a template for this, how you are allocating your time today. Of all these things, what will you delegate tomorrow? This is how Anthony found his zone of genius and what to delegate next. And you delegate a little bit week by week, and that's how you scale your business. And everybody does it in your team. So they also should be leaders. Everybody in a team is a leader, not just the founder. Everybody's a leader. Yeah. And so everybody needs to scale what they're doing. So you do stuff. When it works, you write it down, and now you hand it over. If you have nobody, you hire and then hand it over. And you negotiate a budget. That's how you scale a business on every level. Then the weekly habit is your sprint dashboard, getting your marketing number, sales number, and ops numbers reported. Every 7 days you learn from them, but in real time, they get updated. This is your reality check. This is if you know if your emails are working, if your website is working, if your sales script is working, if anything is working, you know this from this sprint dashboard. And this helps you also reduce the number of activities that you do. Most people do too much. If you just pick the right activities, and they will be told you by the market. And so your sprint dashboard will tell you what's working right now and what's not.
This is a huge piece to what to delegate and what not to. Some things we believe we need to do, some things we are consuming all of our time. You need a third party to help in a process to help you get to these decisions. Sorry, I love that. Thank you.
That's the weekly habit. And then the monthly habit is competitive analysis and sprint budgeting. So competitive analysis is what else can our clients do if not working with us? They can do something on their own. They can do nothing, and they can do with our top 3 competitors. So you quickly review that. And then the next thing is, okay, where are we winning? The 10 features where we are winning against our competitors right now. And the one where you are losing against your competitors. Where you're losing, you want to cut 15% of the costs next month, and you want to reinvest those 15% into the features where you are already winning. If you are already winning plus 15% budget, you will crush it. And you have a strategic advantage. You have a defendable position. And this is what you want to have in terms of strategy positioning, a defendable position, one that is hard for others to grab. Okay, this is strategy. And with these 3 habits, daily habit, time allocation, weekly habit, your real numbers in a dashboard, your monthly habits, your strategic position and defendability and budget. These are the 3 things in your control. And if you have that, you can navigate all recessions, all markets, all weather conditions.
You make it sound so simple, but when you logically go through these steps, yeah, there's time. They take time, and they may bring up other projects or other insights that will then take some time, but is a way to guide your day. And I think that is so important, especially with co-working spaces and working from home, and just our regular structure of work life has changed so significantly. Our roles are getting overbalanced. So to be able to have a roadmap of your daily activities, I think is just essential. And those habits are beautifully micro and macroed. And yeah, I really love that. That's a high value one. All right, you're giving us a lot of good stuff here, Simon. Man, this is great. So I ask you a fun question. I got 2 fun ones for you here. So, all right. So how has sales and influence permeated the sales skills and influence skills? How are they relevant in all areas of business?
Well, no sales, no oxygen in your business. Try live without oxygen.
Simple as that. All right, awesome. I love it. All right, so Simon, what do you do for fun, my friend? What is a weekend not working for Simon?
I consider myself retired since 5 years. I'm 42, so I'm in a position where my business runs well without me. I've reached financial freedom, so every day I just do what I want to do. So. And that started with retiring from people and from projects that do not meet my standards and criteria that I define. And that's a moment of freedom. And I start the day with me time. The first 2 hours of my day are me time. So first, what's good for me? Because you have to be resilient. This is a long thing. And again, we will head into recession. So take care of yourself, of your needs, of your body, of your emotion. This is important. And so as an entrepreneur, it's my duty. And the first thing that I do, the first 2 hours of the day are me time. Just Simon, what is good for me? And for me, it's being in nature and exercising. That's what I love. I'm a sprinter, so I run in nature. That's what I do. But whatever is good for you, you pick that and make sure you have me time every day. And if you have kids and the global business, etc., you probably are like me, that if you don't do it before everybody wakes up, it just won't happen, right? It just won't happen. So then I want to play with my kids twice per day. I want to cook because I love cooking. And so in the evening I will cook, and we cook together and we have fun, and who is the chef, and mise en place together, and everybody is cooking. It's fun. So, and then in between, in the morning, I do deep work. I pick one big thing that I have to do from beginning to end, and I have to complete it. And so I have 3 hours to just complete that. And there are no meetings, nobody can book me, nobody can reach me during that time. I'm completely isolated from the rest. Everything is off.
I love this.
In the afternoon, I do more of the social, collaborative stuff, like being on podcasts, having keynotes on stages, hiring interviews, performance discussions with my team, team meetings. All this kind of stuff is afternoon. And 6 p.m. I call it a day.
I love it. And from what I hear, you've continued to optimize your days to get to this place. This was not an overnight thing. This was, hey, here, I'm going to cut 10% of the things that are not rewarding or not beneficial of my day, almost every week, every year. And until you then you're continually moving things to the top that are more high priority, until then the highest priority, because a lot of the other priorities are taken care of, becomes the family and the personal time and these other pieces. And this is a habit that you made a long time ago that's got you here today.
Every day I use the daily flow. So every day I write down what's the flow of today. In the evening I review, and then I write down the flow of tomorrow. Before tomorrow starts, the flow is ready. And this tool that I use every day and all our clients use every day, you can download it for free. It's open source on strategysprints.com. This is something I really recommend you should do for at least 3 days, writing down how are you spending your time and reviewing it, and finding the things to delegate next.
Yeah, will you send me that link, and I'll make sure I put it in the podcast description.
Strategysprints.com. Strategysprints.com.
I got that one open on my website already. Perfect. All right. One more question. I saw this other point here that I made a note to talk to you about, and I want to make sure that we get this in before we wrap up here today. I'm a firm believer in creating my own luck. I'm the luck of the Irish, McCoy, my last name. And I believe, luck gets a bad name for itself. I think that the bad name luck has for itself is people think luck is up to chance, and I don't believe luck is up to chance. I believe that we create our own optimism. We create our own luck. And I know you talk about this a little bit. Tell me a little bit more about the return on luck, ROL.
So Jim Collins started analyzing why are some teams crushing it and others don't. Everybody's giving their best. Everybody's doing the inputs. Why do some people have the outputs and others not? And so one thing he found is execution makes the difference. So whatever your strategic plan is, that doesn't really matter. The execution matters. And so we went deeper and said, okay, what exactly in execution makes the difference? Oh. And so one we covered already is the number of small risky experiments that you run and how quickly you learn from them. So if you have two teams, one team has traditional management, well, they have monthly projects and they measure it every month. And the other one has a strategy sprint approach, agile project management, where in a month you have 4 different sprints and each sprint has only one goal. And for that one goal, you run 4 experiments. Guess what? Where will luck land? On which team's desk? Mm-hmm. Of course, the team who runs more experiments has a higher probability to find one thing that works, and then they will stick onto that and they will learn. And because they learn more, they deliver more, their conversion rate will go up, they will close more because they know more. And knowledge and learning and speed of learning, that's the strategic differentiator right now.
It's a growth mindset. Have a growth mindset. This is what we talk about all the time. You must be flexible. You must be resilient. You must be responsible. You must be accountable. These are part of you being internally motivated and externally focused. Doesn't matter what happens around you. The recession is coming, as he said, y'all. It's here if you don't already notice it. So make sure that you are motivated internally. When things start changing on the outside, make sure you have a structure to go to that can lead your path forward. I think this is, man, everything you've said here today, Simon, is really beautiful. And I think you kind of expand a lot about what we talk about here in the growth mindset as an individual, but how this works and factors out as a company in a whole, and how each piece is important to adopt these same processes. And why create the wheel, y'all? Use a process that not only works, but has been fine-tuned through different industry and different systems over and over and over and over again. And now you've got the data to leverage from the same piece. So, Simon, I just love what you do. I'm going to probably pick your brain a little bit more on this. We might have to do some adopt some sprint stuff over here at NASP and other organizations. So this has been a really fun time. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for doing this and holding the space for these conversations and showing up. Keep rolling.
Oh, man. See, showing up. Thanks for showing up. This is a good man after my own heart here, man. I love you, brother. And one more question. How you said 3 and 6, the kids, a boy, girl?
2 boys. Yes, we have a girl also coming, but the boys are 6 and 3.
Congratulations, man. What a beautiful family. And where's home?
It's Vienna, Austria.
Vienna, for sure. My friends are in Graz and Vienna. So yeah. Well, we might have to pass. I'm actually supposed to go see them here in a few months, so we might have to cross paths, Simon.
I will be in Graz soon. I'm having a keynote on the 15 Seconds Festival.
Okay.
And I will be in Graz.
I'm gonna have to introduce you to a couple people, Simon. This has been really great, man. I really appreciate this so much. I'm gonna take these notes. I'm gonna go back and listen to this. I hope y'all checked all this out. I know you made some notes. Go back and listen to this one again. There's some ammo here, and check out Simon's links in the post here. Y'all, this is Leads to Growth. This is how we do it every week. Make sure you give us all those stars, subscribe, like, and we'll see you on the next one. And make sure that if you're not already a member of the National Association of Sales Professionals, you subscribe now. We got great value and content like this daily for free, and also our certifications. You want to take these ideas and make them your own and make them your identity? Give us a call. We can help you through that. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Take care, Simon.
Keep rolling.
Keep rolling, my man.